Hi, happy Thursday. So I wanted to tell you a story about something that happened this weekend that really got me thinking about this pattern in me. And when I'm thinking about a pattern in you, I want to share it, or a pattern in me, I want to share it with you because I think we're so, in our humanness, we really do relate to each other's stories. So let me start by telling you that I was raised in a home where all pasta was called spaghetti. I didn't really get the word pasta until I actually moved out here to Western Pennsylvania. And people would call it pasta, and I thought, that's interesting. Why don't you just call it spaghetti? It's all spaghetti. And then I learned, well, no, it's not. There's spaghetti, and there's capellini, and there's angel hair, and there's rotinis. There's all kinds of pasta. And I can't keep them straight. So often when I go to a restaurant and I see a pasta, I don't really know what it is. I mean, I know if it's linguine or those round, long things. I can't remember, rotellis maybe. But a lot of times I have to say, is this pasta? And if so, what kind of pasta? Because I don't want it like really heavy. And so we went, and that's, for me, knowing the pasta is a big deal. And sometimes, because we were also very much a meat and potato family, I don't have a lot of food language skills. I don't retain the names of foods and sauces and preparations. They go right over my head. So when we're in a restaurant, sometimes I don't really know what the menu means, depending on who I'm with, whether I'll ask them or not. What does this mean? And mostly I'll just say, well, I like that kind of fish, or I like that kind of meat, or whatever. So I have some like restaurant food menu shame that I am admitting to you. I don't always know what's on the menu. We were at a restaurant, a new restaurant this weekend, with people we had never been out with before. Tom met them, wanted me to meet them. They're a really nice couple, but they weren't familiar folks. So I ordered what I thought was a kind of a pasta, because it said homemade something. And I thought, well, that'll be good. It's homemade. And it was seafood. It was supposed to have scallops and shrimp in it. So everyone ordered, waited for our meals. Everyone got their meals, and the waitress handed me my dish, and she sat it in front of me. She said, and here's the seafood. And I looked at it, and I thought, oh, yeah, it was pasta. And you know what? I really didn't want pasta. I really wanted the seafood. I overrode that it was pasta. So I'm already a little confused, like, it is pasta. And then it looks like there's something like spinach in it and some wild mushrooms, but I didn't see any fish. And I thought, I wonder where the seafood is. So I started like poking around and looking under the spinach and under the mushrooms, and I didn't see any scallops. And I know what a scallop looks like, and I didn't see any shrimp, and I know what a shrimp looks like. And I thought, well, maybe they're cut up really, really small. And I kept looking, and I kept looking. And I thought, well, maybe these aren't mushrooms. Maybe they did the seafood in some special sauce, and they're kind of just brown and small. And I went on for like this for probably a minute, which is actually, I think, a long time when you're searching your food. And I finally like looked up and said kind of to the table, I don't see any seafood in here. But my process was, there's got to be seafood in here. She told me it was seafood. I ordered seafood. She put it down. She said seafood. I must be missing something. I'm not knowing something here. And then I got so confused, I thought I have to ask the table. So I said, I don't see any seafood. And they all kind of looked at my bowl, and they were like, we don't see any seafood either. And I thought, oh, thank God. I thought I had missed it. Now I'm going to, I was going to be really mortified. So we called the waitress over, and she was like, oh my God, Anyway, I got the seafood. When it came back, I mean, they were Gigunda scallops and shrimp, and so it was like clearly seafood. But I was amazed at my internal process of, I must be seeing this wrong. I must not be seeing the seafood. The seafood must really be there because she said it was. So, like, who do I trust? What I see or what she told me? And I'm remembering the kids used to watch this movie called Fievel. I think Fievel Goes to America was the first one. It was a little mouse. And toward the end of the movie, there's this cat. It's like the cats are going to get the mice. There's this cat dressed up like a mouse at this mouse convention. And Fievel's going, I think that's a cat dressed up like a mouse. And other little mice are starting to wonder, and the cat gets wind that mice are suspecting that he's really a cat in a mouse suit. And he says to the crowd, are you going to believe what you see, or are you going to believe what I tell you? And I've always held that as, that's profound. Like, that's a good question. And that was the question that I was sitting with. Like, I didn't just look at that and say, there's no seafood. I struggled internally with, I'm missing something. So I offer this to you as an opportunity for you to ask yourself, when don't you believe what you see, believe what you know, believe what you feel, or trust what you know, trust what you see, trust what you feel? When does outside information, outside sources tell you something about yourself or about your experience that you then take it as true and disregard what your experience is? So that's the question and the curiosity I would like you to hold this week, is looking at when we give up when we give up our experience. And when you notice that, great. The other thing, though, that I've started doing this week is validating what I do know. Like, I know that. I know I don't want to drive this morning. It was snowing a couple days ago, and I decided not to go to my physical therapy appointment. I know I'm not going. And I kind of made that conscious choice and made it mine as a way to start practicing. I know what I know. And sometimes when we just say it to ourselves and own it as ours, it helps to anchor it. Now, I don't want to give the impression that, excuse me, just because it's my experience, it's the right experience. Other people can be having different experiences, but it's right for me. Excuse me, it's right for me, it's right for what I know in this moment, and it might change next moment. So have fun with this. See if anything like comes up to you in the same vein, and hold a sense of humor. I think that's the most fun I'm having, is just noticing the humor in all of it. And what was funny was the woman that we were having dinner with, the couple, well, she said, boy, you're sharp. She said, nothing gets past you. I'm going to keep that in mind. And I thought that's so funny because it was so obviously not there. And it was such a struggle. So my story to you, I hope it speaks to you and can help you to notice yourself more, commit to yourself more, love yourself more, and treat yourself kindly. Alrighty. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.